welcome to Comics and Us, episode 95. I'm Chris. I'm Lumpy.
And I'm Chris.
I don't remember what I'm supposed
You're
to
Lumpy,
say.
I'm Chris. You're Lumpy, I'm Chris. He's TJ.
And I'm TJ.
This is the review show where we review comics chronologically, kind of.
Well, you almost had it perfectly.
I just don't know my own name.
You knew your name, but you didn't know what your name was on this.
Yes.
Because if we both were Chris, it would be a little confusing, I think.
That's why we use Lumpy for me on here.
Actually, in the beginning, when we first started doing this, I think I called you Chris a lot. Because I'm so used to it.
Yeah, you probably did. It's just
I think I did.
So we're still on hiatus, and now we're on to our picks. And as you can tell by the disastrous intro, it was Lumpy's pick. And what did you pick, Lump?
So I chose Hilda and the Troll by Luke Pearson, which is a Netflix series now. Actually, I think they just came out with another season of it. I do recommend that you go watch it. I don't know if you guys have yet, but I recommend it.
And why did you pick this one?
I watched this show with my daughter, and I bought this comic so I could read it with her, and we like it. So I figured it would be a cool one to do.
All right. And we're covering the first one, Hilda and the Troll, correct?
Yes.
You're an idiot.
What?
Because this isn't technically the first one. Know why we couldn't freaking find it? Because you gave me the wrong name. I found it when I did the research today to find it. I found it online. I have all of them now.
I'm confused.
We spent 3 months trying to find a digital copy of this thing, and we ended up nowhere. There was nowhere. We actually have physical copies of this book because we couldn't find it. And I thought it was because maybe it was classified as a children's book, an actual book, and not a comic or a graphic novel. But now it's classified as a graphic novel. But no, Hilda and the Troll is actually a re-release of the original story called Hilda Folk.
Yes, but I actually didn't know that they released it on there that way. But yeah, this is actually technically a reprint after they released it with the Netflix series.
And when I typed in Hilda Folk, I found it immediately.
The whole series?
The whole series.
Wow, that's funny. Yeah, we actually waited around. It's been almost a year since we got these. We got these at Christmas.
Last Christmas.
And
we tried to do it before that.
Yeah, we've actually gone through 2 whole other seasons of the show when this was the first one he wanted to do. The first one we couldn't find it because of this.
Too cheap. We're too cheap to buy them for ourselves at $11 a pop. So we waited, and they wound up being a Christmas gift.
I bought them for them for Christmas.
But yeah, I have the digital version of it right in front of me right now. Today, literally, I found it as we recorded it. And not only this one, but all 5 of them.
Nice.
Oh, well, that's good to know. You're going to have to send me the link so I can...
Yeah, me too, because I would actually like to read on and see what the heck's going on with this thing.
All right, let's see here. So, Hilda Folk, or Hilda and the Troll as this one's called, the original release was November 14th, 2010, and then it says that's the initial publication. I don't know what the difference between the initial publication and this next date is, which is December 17th, 2013, which was its first release. And then it was re-released December 1st, 2016, which is the one we're covering now.
Okay. So it's not an origin story then, huh?
No, it's. I don't think so.
I wouldn't call it that.
I mean, it's her first appearance, so technically yes, but like in our world, it's her origin, but
not real life.
It's her first. Yeah. It's her first comic.
It's her first story. Yes, it was published by No Brown Press Publications and Flying Eye Books for subsequent releases. It is 24 pages. The initial release was only 24 pages. This one's 40 pages, so that's different. And it was written and illustrated by Luke Pearson, you said? Luke Pearson?
Yes, Luke Pearson.
All right. So, yeah, I to find the credits, I'm on a Hilda wiki site. So there's actually a wiki site for this.
After the TV show came out, it did actually get pretty popular. And there's actually a movie. There's a couple seasons and a movie now. Oh. So the series is really good as far as the TV shows go. I really do recommend you check it out. But I've only read the first 3 books.
So is the series, is it written for children, or do they keep it at this tone where it's like it feels like it's for everybody?
It's the same tone. It's for everybody. Okay. Like to be honest, I think I enjoy it more than my daughter does. So
really,
like it's really, really good. I'm serious. You should check it out. It's same.
It's
tone.
odd. It's definitely odd. It's got a weird vibe to it.
Yeah. So the story is really about a little. It's more Norse folklore.
Okay.
And that's what the troll things is. It's actually more the story of what they, I guess, I don't know if it's Sweden or Norway. And actually, Luke Pearson actually writes a little bit about it. Not in this book, but if you read some of his stuff, you can learn a little more about and what he's telling you. It's kind of their folklore.
Right.
All right. Let's dive into the story itself.
Want to do the cover?
No, you're going to do the cover. Lumpy. It's your comic. You're doing the cover.
Okay, so on the cover is it's almost split into 4.
Yeah.
Like you have the snowy day, and then the night in the top, and on the right side is kind of the daytime. They show in her cottage there in the woods, and at the bottom is she's standing on a rock with her. I am trying to remember what that animal is called.
I call it reindeer cat.
Well, it's cat with antlers, yes.
It actually might be called that. I can't remember, but actually, if you read into it, it has a name. It has a name. It's like I thought it was like an antlered fox or something, but we'll get into it anyway. But that's her pet, and the girl is standing in the center. Her name is Hilda. She's in red boots with a purse, and I think that's a beret.
Is that a beret that's not quite on her? Yeah, it's not really touching her head.
It's kind of in the rest of the thing, it's on her head, but in this, it's in the cover, it's not on her head. So I don't know why it looks like that. And then there is the stick guy who is sitting on a log,
who freaks me out a little bit at first. We'll talk about that.
His name's Woodman, apparently.
Woodman, yes, and he's in the show too. So I know a little bit more about some of this because I've seen the show, but.
The way they introduce him is odd. I'm sure we're going to get into it, definitely.
And that is the way they introduce him in the show. So if you think you're going to get more, you're not.
What
you
are
do
the
learn more later, but
we learn a little more in this book actually. But what are the floating round cat dog things that are in the sky?
I don't know, and they are not in the. They don't mention them in the comic, and I don't remember seeing them in the show at all. So
they actually remind me of Jake the dog from Adventure Time.
I literally have no idea, but they do look like Jake the dog.
There's also a little tiny gnome or something on a rock down in the bottom right-hand corner. Every time you look at this picture, there's other stuff that you're going to find. It's actually pretty cool.
So that little gnome down there is a Hilda folk.
Oh, okay.
And they are not in this comic. But they are a very big part of her story.
Apparently that's what it was called to begin with. So
yes.
You missed the troll up in the left corner, too.
Where?
Oh, yeah, the rock.
Oh, yeah. It's got a bell hanging from his nose or something, too.
Yep.
I know we get into that, too, later. But.
All right. I just heard myself talk. That's not good.
Yeah, I got a little echo there, too, but I think it was because you were too loud.
No, it was me. I was actually leaning over to read the book, so my headphones got close to my mic. Do you hear yourself now?
No.
Yeah, it was me leaning over, because now I have a book, and not on my phone, so...
It's funny, when I have a book, I lean way back in my chair so I can hold it against my, belly while I'm reading it, so I'm further away from the microphone.
That's how I am now, so...
I have the book next to me, but I don't need it now since I found a digital copy.
2 years later.
Send me that link.
Yep. Anyway, we open up... Well, we don't really open up. We get a giant white page with some kind of one-eyed flying thing.
Yep, don't know what that is either.
And I guess he's just stanking his family and stuff on that page. Anyway, still not opening up as we get a map of...
Yeah, that's why this book's 40 pages long.
I guess a map of where she lives?
Yes.
It's a map of, like, everywhere she goes in this book, and she goes a long way.
It's even more than this. And if you watch the show, she goes far.
She got crappy parents that let her sleep out in the woods in the rain and let her travel all over.
I only seen one parent, so...
That's all she has.
I don't think we see any of them, do we?
Yeah, you
see the mom.
Oh, we do? Okay.
You see the mom, you don't see the dad, so you just have to assume
it's just her and her mom.
You just assume this is Disney's rules and the dad's dead.
I'm going to assume that because I don't think they ever talk about it, but I could be wrong. So
dead, horrible death.
All right, so we truly open up with a picture of a house in the mountains, and there's smoke coming out of it. And inside the house, the radio is talking about the weather, how it's going to rain today and snow tomorrow. And we get our introduction to our titular main character, Hilda, who's reading about trolls. And then she goes outside and looks at a mountain. And I guess that's the rain clouds gathering.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking.
I'm agreeing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No argument.
And so Hilda runs back inside and she's like, Mom, can I go sleep in the tent tonight? And behind her is this woodman that walks in.
This creepy wooden guy just wanders into the house and then lays on the floor like a weirdo.
In front of the fireplace. And Hilda's like... And Hilda's like, what's up with this guy?
Well, exactly. It looks like a horror movie or something. Like, what is this guy do? What's this guy doing here?
Apparently he does this a lot because she says, not that guy. What is his problem? What's his problem?
I'll tell you what. If this guy kept wandering into my house, that kid would be in trouble when she left the door open and let him wander into the house.
Well, the mom's not upset.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. Anyway, so we cut from that to later that night where Hilda's in her tent and it's raining. It's pouring. That tent's probably going to be wet inside.
I know, TJ, I know you probably never did, but Lump, did you ever sleep in a tent in the rain, like pouring rain like that?
It's horrible.
There's zero chance that rain doesn't come into that tent.
No. And even if it doesn't, the inside of the tent sweats so bad in the rainstorm that you are wet.
Even if you sleep anywhere where it's like humid too, when you wake up in the morning, you're wet anyway in a tent. If it's raining,
you're wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's sleeping as the rain's going, and then this reindeer cat thing wanders in, and she's like, okay, you can sleep with me, and they go to sleep.
So she was a little scared at first, but then when the reindeer cat thing came in, it made her feel more comfortable. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it. Well, she probably shouldn't have been reading about trolls right before she went and slept out in the woods either.
Probably not. That probably added to her anxiety, sure.
Yeah.
But she's an adventurer. That's what she does.
Apparently.
Anyway, she's tired the next day because the rain kept her up all night because she was outside in the rain.
So the animal's a deer fox, and its name is Twig, just so you know.
Okay. I'm going to continue to call it different names every time they come up.
Deer fox works.
Yeah. I'm trying. Okay. So she's eating dinner, and when she's done, she says she's going to go out and draw some rocks, and her mom's like, okay, just come back later or something.
Yeah, shut him up. She's like, good, get out of my hair, go ahead.
And then she opens up the door, and the woodman shows back up, and he lays down.
Woody comes in again and just lays on the ground.
And she's like, why are you so rude, always coming in here uninvited? And her mom's like, he brings us wood, he's fine, leave him alone. He must not have a house or something, I don't know. And so Hilda leaves, and she goes, and...
She says he's rude and a weirdo. She does say that.
Yeah. There goes the flying dog things.
Oh, yeah. They live on the mountain, Lump.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Are you there? Are you reading the comic? Did you just start reading ahead of us? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, but I'm looking at it, and they just show up in a picture, but they don't mention them.
No, they're gone again.
They're just atmosphere.
Just there. Yeah, I don't know what they are, and they're not in the TV show.
They're just like birds.
Well, they don't have wings, so I don't know how they're flying.
Like clouds. How do clouds fly?
They float kind of like that.
Anyway, she's drawing rocks and stuff, and she comes across a water spirit that is in a lake, and she's following it, and then she gets distracted by the rock she's looking at, and hey, this rock looks like a troll rock, but it's got a long nose, so she opens up her book of trolls, and she discovers that you have to put a bell on its nose in order to hear them coming, so it doesn't eat you. And then
or you just go home. Like, this is a troll rock now. I'm going home. I'm going to go home before it gets dark, and I'm not going to.
I mean, at this point, I just assumed it was just a rock, and she was just pretending.
Right. That's what I thought at first, too. But then I remembered Wood Guy, who she wasn't protecting. Like, this whole thing felt like a fever dream. I'm like, this Wood Guy's wandering in. Something's going on here.
This is probably the delusions of a very sick girl somewhere.
It's everything in this is mythical, so it's not like it wouldn't be. I don't even know how to explain it. So, like, basically everything's alive.
Right. Well, the weird part is, while you're reading it for the first time, you're trying to figure it out. There's really nothing to figure out.
Nope. Nothing.
It's really pretty straightforward. They mean what they say. When they say Troll Rock, it's a Troll Rock.
It is a Troll Rock. It's not a code word. It is a Troll Rock.
All right. So she gives the bell to the fox demon, and the demon puts the bell on the troll, and they fall asleep
next to the rock. That's going to
next to the rock. Yep. After she finishes all, she wakes up, and it's suddenly snowing, and she hears the bell ringing, and the rock's gone. So they run. And they run for 2 pages, and then a giant almost steps on her, and she's like, hey, that giant probably knows where he's going, because she's kind of lost at this point. And then we cut over to the giant who doesn't know where he's going because he can't find. He's got a map and he's lost.
He says, damn it, too. He's like, damn it, I can't find where I'm going.
Anyway, so Hilda's wandering with her fox bear, and they come across this house that smells good. And they wander into it, and hey, it's the Wood Guy's house.
Yeah, well, that Wood Guy better not say a word, because I'm wandering to your house now. You're wandering to my house all the time.
It looks like he's angry at looking at her when she.
Yeah, he's tapping his foot when she walks in.
Yeah, and then we cut back over to later at her house, and she's like, "That's because we lost Lumpy."
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
I thought he was quiet. It's his comic.
Yeah, I know. The cat shut off his
bullcrap.
The cat shut off his computer. He's trying to get back on now.
The last time he had to restart it 3 times to get it to start back up.
Yep. I guess we'll hold until he gets back on.
Or we can badmouth him. We can sit here and talk about him.
I mean, we could, but I mean...
I really haven't seen him in a while. I don't got that much to say.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of tired, too. So it's like...
Yeah, a little sleepy. we did another podcast before this, and now it's like getting late and stuff. Now we have to wait for him to restart his stupid computer 1,000 times.
Until it gets back on, yep.
Let's see if I sold anything on eBay while I'm waiting. No, nothing. Trying to get back on now.
Yeah, I know, I got that text. I'm going to leave all of this in.
Yeah. Hey, if you're going to leave it in, check out my eBay store. It's Kringle Collectibles, and I got a bunch of comic books getting ready to go up there if you want to go check out some comic books. Probably going to list...
Did you get them all rated or whatever it's called?
No, It says right in the listing. For grading, please use the photographs and make your own. I forget exactly how I worded it, but it's saying look at the pictures and decide from there. If you want more pictures, let me know. But I got like 100 comic books I'm getting ready to put up.
Why?
Because I went and gathered them all up that are all that I've had for years. Preacher, Constantine. I got a lot of Hellblazer.
Better not have any of my comics.
I don't. These are the ones that I gave. Remember I gave you a big box of comics? Remember I was handing out flat comics?
Yep.
Yeah, these are the ones.
I still have those comics.
Yeah, well, that's me too. And I'm going through them now because they're just been in my, they've been sitting around the house forever. And I'm not doing anything with them. So some of them are good. Now that Sandman, I got a lot of Sandman. Sandman is on Netflix now. And people are looking for the Sandman ones.
Okay.
Well, how bad do you think that's going to mess this up?
No, why would I have any of your comics?
You hear me?
But you borrowed some of my Batman stuff.
Yeah, I have your Batman stuff. I don't have your Batman comics. I think I gave them back. But I think I have your Batman video game.
Can you hear me?
Yep. You're back.
All right.
We stopped. We waited for you.
Oh, my God.
What's the last thing you remember, Lup?
Throwing the cat across the room?
No. In the comic.
Oh, where was I? I had it open still. Oh, so the Troll Rock. Then you said about the demon climbing onto the nose. And,
yeah, we got past all that.
Way past all that. The giant? Do you remember the giant?
Nope, we didn't get there yet.
So, the giant didn't say damn it?
Nope.
Alright. We got to where they're back at the house with the woodman.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we made it that far back.
So, I'm going to come back in, and then you can, go over anything you wanted to talk about in those scenes.
Nope.
3, 2, 1. Alright, we got Lumpy back here, and his cat turned off his computer, so
Yep, cat jumped directly onto the power button on my tower.
That's nice.
Why it has to be on the top of the tower makes no sense, but that's what it is.
I was going to ask you the same thing, but then I remember my other computer has it on the top too.
Yeah, this stupid thing they do.
I hate it.
So we went 3 pages before we noticed he was gone.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's also a very easy comic to just skip pages over. So
it is, because this isn't really an intro comic anyway. So and they're not even actually going into detail with anything. They're kind of just telling you a quick story, and the characters that they kind of go into more detail later are just in here. They don't really give you anything other. It's just a story. That's all.
I actually liked reading this because of that. There wasn't a lot of crap to it. You got a little story out of it. It was nice. Actually, when we were preparing to start recording, I read this entire comic.
Yeah, because it's fairly simple. It's a lot of drawings, very little words. There's not a whole lot even going on, to be honest. It's just it's somewhat of an introduction into the world, more or less, and not really into the characters.
All right. So we're back at Hilda's house, and she's talking to Woodman, and he apparently walked her home because he obviously knows how to get to his house to her house.
Right.
And he's not comfortable in his house. He could say a little existential here, honestly.
I feel like he's got a little bit of like a mental problem or something going on, right?
Yeah.
He's aware of too much in his own house to really feel comfortable there, he says.
So when he gets to her house, he's not aware of nothing, so he feels more comfortable in her house?
It's more the house is more unfamiliar, so he feels more comfortable, yes.
Okay. I think he needs a psychiatrist.
In any case, Hilda goes to bed, and then she starts hearing jingling in the middle of the night. And outside her window is the troll with the bell. Oh no.
It's no longer a rock. Now it's a troll.
Yep.
Yeah, well, he's a troll rock until the night comes.
Right.
And he's just standing out there, and Hilda is scared with the fox cat, and as the woodman is reading about the trolls, and he's reading about how they eat people and stuff, and she's getting scared, and then he says, "Did you know putting a bell on a troll is kind of like cruel and unusual punishment because they can't stand the sound of it?"
That's nice. This is torturing the troll.
Yeah, and because he can't reach it. It's on the end of his nose, and his arms are too short.
Yeah.
Yep. So she's like, fine, I'll go outside and get it off. So she walks over to him. She gets her cat dog to get the bell off of it.
Oh, nice. Send the deer fox up to get it.
He's too fast. The troll can't catch the deer fox.
To be fair, she did send him up there to put it on there in the first place.
True.
He did.
And she's like, okay. So she's got the bell. Okay, good luck, Mr. Troll. And she goes to walk away, and the troll picks her up, and it's going to eat her. It's very terrifying. And then he sticks out his tongue and gives her back her sketchbook that she forgot.
Is he carrying it around on his tongue?
Yes. And she thanks him. She waves goodbye. But oh no, the picture is ruined. And she looks in there. And then we get a page, and that's a page of it raining over the house, and then it's over.
It's very sad and dreary because all our pictures.
Yep. The end. And then we get a picture of her room, I'm assuming it's her room?
Yes. All her little collections and trinkets all over the place, and
food laying on the table. It's a mess. It's empty water glass. Actually, looks like my daughter's room, except for there's probably like 5 more, and maybe an apple.
It's you say it's a mess, but I would say it's just more disorganized than a mess.
Yeah,
because it's stuff's on shelves and stuff.
The food bothers.
All right, and then the next page is just a big splash page of the book about trolls, the bit about trolls in her lore book thing.
Yeah,
and then for some reason, the digital copy that I'm reading doesn't have the last story in it.
The Woodman.
That's a bonus.
Yep, hold on. I gotta actually open the book. So there is a small, like, two-page comic in the back called The Woodman. So, stop it. So the Woodman's sitting on a rock, and he says, "The strange and beautiful world. I'd be content to sit here forever and simply experience it." And then he sits there as a bird puts on his head, and then poops on his head, and a bunch of animals go by. Then it snows, then it rains, then it's kind of raining with a bunch of worms, and then it's just, like, dark out, and then
But the rock changes.
Yeah,
Rock looks like a fake.
Well, because it goes from night to day to night, so at nighttime it turns into a troll.
Oh, it's a troll rock. How are you supposed to know what's a troll rock? Are all rocks troll rocks?
You gotta look for the nose. It tells you in the splash page before.
Yeah, there's no nose on that rock he's sitting on.
Yeah, there is. Sometimes they bury the nose down, so you can't notice it.
That's probably what happened.
And he's just content sitting here, but when the troll comes to life, he gets up and he goes home and reads a book. He's a complicated person with many sides, he says. And then the page after that is just a bunch of sketches, and then we get a preview for the next Hilda adventure, and that is Hilda. The end.
The end. It was odd. It was odd at first because I kept thinking I needed to figure out what was going on, like there was some kind of secret message. But when I read it the second time, I realized there was no secret message.
There is not. So this comic is a little bit... So the thing about it for me is this first comic, it actually kind of sucks because I saw the show. So I know a little bit more before I read it. Yeah. I kind of wish that I had just read this and not known, because then you're like, oh, I need to know more about.
Yeah. It definitely has, it pulls you in a little bit. I would like to check it out a little more.
I really, really seriously recommend that you take a look, just watch even 1 or 2 episodes if you get a second to put it on. It's just on Netflix and just check it out.
Are they 30-minute episodes?
I don't even know if they're 30. I think they're 15.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, they're short. It was good for Eloise too, because it keeps her interest just long enough before she decides to get up and walk away.
And I understand why you like it, because it's you have a young kid and it's something that you can actually enjoy.
And Lumpy's also really into Norse mythology.
I am very, very into Norse mythology and all the folklore of the trolls and fairies and things like that. So I really like a lot of this.
All right. Anything else to say about it?
No.
I
want to hear your opinion, TJ.
Oh, it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was
I wasn't blown away by it, but it's a kid's book. It's
right.
Fine for what it is.
It wasn't a terrible kids. It held your interest. It wasn't just written for children. I did like that.
Trust me, if I didn't like it, I would have already just.
Oh, right. Well, that's what I was waiting to hear.
We know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just have nothing to say about it. It's fine for what it is. I don't hate it. I'm not in love with it. It's fine.
Yeah, and I think that because that I'm going to end up picking another one later on down the road. So, and I think that you'll get a little more out of it next time. Again, I don't know if it's something that you'll ever love, but I think you'll enjoy a little bit more of the story when they get into the story.
Yeah, it's fine. I liked it.
Yeah, it's exactly. I mean, it took me literally 5 minutes to get through it, so
right, and that's what I liked about it too. For us, for doing this in our hiatus, it's fairly quick to review, and it's not a long thing to read. It's a little. I also, you guys probably know this already, and audience probably knows too. Is I think I enjoy a bit more visual stuff in these comics than I do the lengthy reading. So for me, this was a lot. more
it was
visual.
A nice break.
Yeah,
it was a nice break from all the wording, because we were doing some Batmans. They had a lot of words.
Just novels in 13 pages.
Yeah.
All right. With that, anything else?
Do you want to know why the troll was late for school?
Not really.
Yes.
The ogre slept. I got Lumpy to laugh on that one.
I always like your
TJ,
jokes.
Ogre slept.
TJ,
Ogre slept? Come on, TJ.
Okay. He did definitely ogre slept. I guess that's it for this episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.